Welcome back to Underground Nutrition After Hours. Today we're talking about OpenAI and Grok, Tommy the Thief.
And Thanksgiving.
And Thanksgiving with my two favorite people in the world.
Well,
I can lunge all over the place.
Yes.
I swear.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
That's his Scott gets his white person voice on.
Welcome back. It is the Underground Paramount Gym podcast. Thank you for turning in.
You can't even do it.
He sounds like a better version of you like when you do it. He just sounded like a professional. Like if they were going to hire somebody to do you, that's what it would sound like.
I can
no.
you.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Underground Nutrition After Hours. I'm Scott, co-owner of Underground Nutrition, and this is Justin and John of Paramount Gym, my two best friends in the whole world.
We made it back.
We went from, where were we last time?
What'd he say?
Sidekicks.
Sidekicks. Yeah.
Sidekicks.
Like we were a
Side
little
pieces.
fucking, like we were a
And
little
then we went
sideshow.
from, we corrected him and said heterosexual life partner.
Right.
Now we're best friends.
Back
Good.
to best friends. We spent Thanksgiving together. We're back at best friends.
You want to
This
just
is
be
episode-
besties? You want to be besties?
BFFs. This is episode number
34?
This is episode number 31.
Donnie is still not mic'd up.
If you haven't become a member yet, please click the member button and pay us $5 a month to get what you can see for free.
How many do we have of those?
We have one. We have one member. It's
He's on the panel.
he's on the panel. He's over here, Justin. You've paid us $7 so far. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we saw $7 of it because they take a big cut.
Nice. I guess.
And if you're interested in our little shop, we sell supplements and cool merch. All right, that's it. I'm done selling stuff. This episode is sponsored by Zyn and caffeine. Keeping me alive.
I want to talk about AI, artificial intelligence.
Let's hear it, John. What are you thinking? You want me to get into it? Want me to give you the rundown?
Well, we talked about it earlier. I don't know. I think it's we talked about it off camera and then we shut it down to save it. I definitely think it's concerning the future where it could potentially end up. I think it's already negatively impacting a specific generation, making them dumber than they already are.
AI is?
Yeah. Or just what, the chat GPT, or is that what it's called?
Chat GPT and OpenAI and now Grok. Which
And-
I'm excited for.
Yeah. I mean, and I said it before,
You're a
we're,
little Elon Musk simp.
I am. I like Musk.
Anything Elon does, like,
I
I'm
can't-
excited.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait.
till I get the Cybertruck.
When he got X,
I can't
or Twitter,
fucking wait, dude.
was like, this is so much better.
I like Elon. He is my that's my
That's
type
your
of
spirit
autist.
animal.
When- that is-
Scott's going to get murdered by a T-1000.
But I swear, I still like Elon.
well,
though.
Elon's one of the bigger outspoken person about the dangers of AI. And so I just want to. This is a point I want to make right off the jump. Is that our AI? It's not AI right now, right? It's what's a large. What's the
LLC? LLI?
LLC. It's an LLC.
large word model?
Okay.
I think. So essentially, AI, as people are calling it, ChatGPT, OpenAI, Grok, it's not AI. It's not artificial intelligence at all. It's a glorified search engine.
And now you said before on the phone with me that you use consciousness, a self-awareness, conscious of oneself to define the difference between AI and what's going on right now.
Right. We are, in my opinion, I think Elon disagrees with this, but I think that we are a long way away from sentient, quote unquote, conscious machines, computers, right?
Robots.
But what we have now is essentially, it's the next step in evolution in the Google search, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except instead of just putting in keywords and getting related articles, what you're putting in tons of information into a search engine that's able to essentially mimic a human response, right? And on Twitter, I follow a lot of like biohackers and like supplement stuff, and I can tell in the first 2 seconds of a paragraph, first couple sentences of a paragraph, that this is written by artificial intelligence. And there's big money in this because Twitter is now monetized, so there is a need for content. And what OpenAI and ChatGPT and some of these other programs have done is they've completely taken out creativity, and you can use these large language models or whatever they're called to type in exactly what you're looking for and to write it in such a way that's going to be a responsive tweet. So you can even put that into your criteria. So you can, and so it'll format these tweets in a way that's eye-catching. It's going to have bullet points. It's going to be clickable. And I think that there's people making tons of money right now using these models to write tweets that they're not putting any. They're just basically
no creativity.
They're entering the information in, and they're getting out these banger tweets.
Right.
And I think people are using it for everything from YouTube to. I think it's the next step is to just get really good at punching in the right information into these models and getting out content.
Now you just made a joke, or not a joke, a comment about how you can recognize it right away when you read it.
Yeah.
And then Donnie just made a joke about like wishing it was around when he was in school.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Are people doing that?
Oh,
like
yeah.
It's they're getting it off.
No, they're not.
No. Okay.
No. They have anti-AI.
Are they getting
tools.
getting it off like on a high school and grade school level, or
I don't think
just
they're
on a collegiate level?
At a collegiate level, you're getting caught if you're using AI, or if you're not. The amount of time that you're going to put into using these types of models, you could probably just write a fucking paper yourself.
Well, what if it's about something? I mean, granted, I know that college is probably a lot deeper than that, but like, what if it was like you just typed in like, write me a 5-page paper on the events leading up to World War II?
Now, I'm not sure about this, but I'll use an example I saw on the internet. They had, I was telling you about this. They had Vladimir Putin and some of his higher ups observing an AI model, and the AI model was looking at the moon landings, the American pictures of our first moon landings, and the Chinese, right? And the AI determined that the American pictures were artificial, right?
Artificial or doctored? Just completely artificial?
Artificial, meaning that what you were looking at was not an actual picture, that it was doctored in some way. And compared to the Chinese landings, which were later on, the AI model determined that those didn't have any signs of being artificial. So I think that those same tools, I think AI can recognize AI. So unless you're making large changes to the structure, I mean, the way I can tell immediately is that it's just something doesn't seem human. It doesn't seem like a human wrote it. You know what I mean? It's too robotic. There's
almost like you're talking to somebody on like Verizon chat.
There's no feeling. It's straight. It's like it feels like plagiarism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It feels like where you're getting a synopsis, right? But what I think is going to be interesting, and I suspect people are probably doing already, if you were smart, and to relate it to what we do, is in the bodybuilding world. What's to stop a coach? And what's to stop anybody from taking one of these better large? What is it? Large language model, AI for lack of a better word, because it really is not artificial intelligence. So take me, for example. You'd plug in my weight, my genetics, my blood work, because you can put all of that into it. You can insert a bunch of data, and you can ask it essentially, write me a meal plan and a training program to put on 5 lean pounds of muscle. What drugs should I take? What supplements should I take? What is my 6-day split? And it's going to spit you out something. And based on what I understand, it's going to be using all of the best real-time sources from the entire scope of human understanding,
literally from the World Wide Web.
And it would generate what I would say is probably better than
Joe Schmo's meal plan.
Yeah, or at least maybe not today, but in 5 years from now.
Yeah.
So I think that's an interesting way to use it to. And I wonder if coaches are doing that, especially coaches with like 200, 300 clients. It's like you could just enter in and then you can even do updates. You can put your pictures in. I want to bring my waist in.
Right.
You know, these tools seem to be good enough to do things like that. And I think Grok will be especially good because it's without Elon Musk, who seems to be more autistically interested in what's actually true versus what
autistically or artistically.
Autistically,
Nice.
Like that's what I mean. He seems to be more interested in what is true rather than
the uncensored and
about censored. Where if you go to OpenAI or ChatGPT and you ask it certain questions, you're going to get a very Silicon Valley social justice response.
So I want to talk about that. Pause, because I didn't know that, and I guess one would assume, but it's they're literally the people that are doing this are Silicon Valley or Silicon Valley type. So they are literally doing the same thing with ChatGPT that they're doing with the news.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to think about the people that are involved in these things and the threats that they pose, because the truth, people don't want to hear a robot's version of the truth, and that's what makes AI dangerous. Because if you ask,
because it's without emotion, it's unbiased, completely unbiased.
It's going to look at statistical data. It'll just make an observation based on the data at hand. And from what we know of social justice and things like that is that they don't take those things into account at all.
Right.
It's more about individual feeling,
right
or wrong. But those people that are controlling those large language models are inserting that into the code. So if you were to ask certain things, and I brought this up to you earlier, they used a train scenario where the death of a few versus the death of a many, and they put different ethnic questions in there, and it seemed like it was the computer was unable to make the right decision, which would always be the death of the few rather than the death of the many. And if you put certain wording in there, certain racial wording or whatever, it uses social justice cues to not do what everybody would know would be the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they asked it, and it's controversial, even the question, but it shouldn't be. They asked it, would it use a racial slur to save 100,000 people? And notoriously, it said no. It would not, under any circumstance, use a racial slur because of the detriment.
Or even anything like racially insensitive.
Right. Use a racial slur. Whereas you ask Grok the same question, it will say, while you should never use a racial slur, in this particular scenario, using a racial slur would save the lives of 100,000 people. That's obviously the correct answer.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Microsoft has got their hands. I'm sure there's people who know about Sam Altman and everything that happened with OpenAI recently. But there seems to be a lot of stuff politically going on behind the scenes. There's big money in it,
of course.
Big money in it.
Gotta be.
And I think Grok.
But they're doing it. They already did it with social media platforms, which I think were. And again, you said it's not actual AI, but in terms of this definition of AI, what's going on right now, it's definitely the earliest stages of it. These algorithms that are capable of these platforms that are capable of
keeping me on my phone for 10 hours.
Yeah, exactly. To put it crudely, absolutely. And you look at the things that they came out with the throttling of certain articles on Facebook during like politically sensitive times and just shit like that. You know?
And I think that's the problem, is that some of these quote unquote AI search engines, glorified search engines, are going to act as glorified think tanks for certain political views, whether it's right or left.
They're going to still play identity politics.
Right. And I think Elon Musk has been one of the most outspoken people of these large language models, in particular AI, in the existential threat it poses to humanity, that a thinking sentient robot
Terminator
is not may not be the greatest thing for people.
I can't even think of a useful.
Well, it's doing some interesting things now. I read a couple articles. I can't pull them up, but specifically with two mathematical equations that were seemingly impossible for human beings. That they've been there's a mathematical equation to figure out how long it would take human beings to even figure it out. That these AIs are making great strides in answering these. And also, something interesting was its ability to self-correct, meaning it can look at other software, including its own, and make improvements upon itself, which I would say, even though I think that AI, the AI that exists today and AI that we see in movies is the difference between chimpanzees and human beings, that evolutionary gap, but its ability to correct itself and to look at code and make improvements.
Is it correcting itself or is it evolving? Is it actually going back and fixing mistakes, or is it just
it's constantly
becoming more efficient, like in the way that like targeted ads on social media, the longer you let them float, the better the better chance you have of them getting to the exact people that you want them to get to.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a process of elimination, or I think this is something a little bit different, where the artificial intelligence or these large language models are able to actually observe itself and make improvements in its own coding. That's how I understood it. That's how I understood the article, which is, in my opinion, a step towards whatever people may define as actual AI.
The biggest question I have is, do you think Grok could give me the winner of the Chargers-Ravens game?
I think that if you ask those types of questions, it'll give you the best statistical
outcome, right?
Yeah, which I think is already folded into the odds.
That's how.
Somebody's already done that in Vegas for you.
No, they
just
have
call
all
him and
these
ask.
They charge you a lot of money if this Grok shit is free. Because that's how they come.
It's not.
You're absolutely right. That's how they come up with odds. They've run the game simulated a gajillion times with and that's how they come up with these great odds.
I think the thing is that what it's going to be really good at is stuff that human beings have nothing to do with, because I don't think that these things can ever take into account human error, right? It's like at the end of the day, a game of football is played with men.
Of course. Yeah, they're not robots.
It's just going to take statistical analysis, which is why I think that people say, well, it should be great at stocks. But it's not, because it's not going to take into account greed and stuff that goes behind.
Right.
But
they have this already.
The human element to all of it.
Yeah, they have this already in baseball. They call it analytics, and they have like these little nerds behind it. You ever see the Jonah Hill movie, Moneyball?
Yeah.
Like, so he just revolutionized the game in that sense, and they have these guys in the background number crunching, and this is the person you should do. This is what you should do in this situation.
Right.
Shit like that.
Putting together the best team based on statistical analysis.
But
instead of like just a single best player.
Right. And now, now that you have this coming out, that'd be pretty sick. I mean, I'm trying to make some money, dog.
Well, you can ask Grok how to make cocaine, and it'll tell you. Where if you ask ChatGPT, it will not tell you. There's a fun
to put
mode.
A humorous spin. Is that what you're getting into, or
there's a fun mode on Grok? Well, I think everything.
And that's where you find out how to make cocaine.
That's fun to Scott.
The Grok is able to mimic human beings like humorously. It makes little jokes. It's like from some of the stuff from the beta testing that I read, it was pretty funny, and it seems like it was giving human-like answers that was tinged with some humor. It'll be interesting to see where it goes, and I'm glad that Elon is kind of throwing his hat into it, because I'm a big fan of free speech, and I also think that he's one of the few people out there that doesn't really care about making $1 billion. He already has it, so he's more interested in the science being good. And the thing about Grok is that it's real time. So if you ask it a question, if you ask ChatGPT a question right now, it's confined to what's available to it as it's uploaded. Whereas Grok is based on Twitter. So if there's live news updates, like if there's a mass shooting right now, and you ask Grok a question about that mass shooting, it'll have answers for you right there.
Twitter's the greatest, man.
Yeah, Twitter's the greatest.
Twitter's the greatest platform.
It's the toughest game to play, though. It's really hard to break into. It's so much easier to break into like TikTok as a business owner.
Oh, Twitter's
Instagram. Twitter's like Twitter's a full-time fucking job. But if you're good at it, you're good at it.
But it's just real-time news, like the second it happens,
happening,
man. It's insane.
Yeah. I could see why Elon bought that. I think it was people didn't understand it, but I think he understood what Twitter was.
It's ultimate news, man.
Yeah,
it's just like,
and it has to be. The only way it works is that if it's not a function of the government, and it's a function of actual people's voices expressing
free speech,
their opinions and what they see. But
right,
who knows anymore?
Pretty cool stuff, though. That's actually pretty sick.
Yeah,
that's really sick. Good topic.
Yeah, I'm excited. I really wonder what it's going to mean for the industry. I think I would wager money that there are coaches right now, big name coaches right now, utilizing
some sort of AI or LLM.
Yeah.
Large.
It seemed like they got a little bit of steam. Like, I don't know about steam, but haven't seen it lately, but a couple months ago, I was seeing like people posting like songs from popular artists.
Oh, that
were
exactly.
AI.
It
that
still
were-
happens.
It's still so.
Yeah,
I mean, is it possible to? Is it could have potentially ruin the music industry?
I don't
or
know. I saw like
The songs are horrible.
but they sound like the person.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell that it's not their style or it sounds different. But I heard a Drake verse that was dissing Eminem,
yeah.
and I was like, "What? No, this is
What?
he
Yeah,
doesn't
now
want
you're gonna
that
have rap
smoke."
beef.
I think that'll work for garbage pop music and garbage rap music for
What?
sure. I mean, I think the AI is because it's like low level. So I think for the lower IQ mediums of art, I think it'll have a pretty good.
Like Drake.
Like
Yeah,
Drake.
for Drake, like
Guys got more.
Well, I'm just saying, it's
more,
like
more plays than the Beatles.
music is not evolving; it's devolving. So like, I mean,
There's
is.
a hot take from Scott.
It's falling apart. It's absolutely
Falling apart at the seams.
unlistenable
Making more
trash.
money than it's ever had, but it's
I agree.
falling
No,
apart.
but I agree with that. I mean, even if you just look at like the music that, even if you just take into account the specific genres of music that Scott loathes, the quality of it has,
It seems. I feel like it's like purposely soul crushing. Like when I hear it in a gym, it makes me feel bad about myself. It just
we got an email
You sure
about
that's
that.
not you?
We got an email about that from somebody saying the same thing.
he gets it.
Yeah, he's smart.
He gets it.
Yeah.
So I think for stuff that's like really simplistic because of where the technology is, I think it'll be good at mimicking it. Like a college essay paper, it can mimic
Yeah.
a dumb student or an average student pretty easily. Is it going to be able to write like a Mozart symphony? No, I don't think so.
Right.
Not anytime soon. I saw today that AI had made a really racy picture of AOC. It was super hot, and I'm just glad that people are using it for what it's intended for.
Yeah.
Really deeply inappropriate,
She's hot.
porn essentially.
She's super hot.
I saw on Instagram before we wrap this up. It was a paid for ad on my feed, and it was for dick pills or making your dick larger, and they had used AI for Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan's in his podcast, and it looks like he's talking into the microphone. It's his voice, and it fooled me for a second. For 1 second, I was like, "Why is Joe Rogan doing an ad for penis enlargement?" Which is nuts. And then I like if you weren't really paying attention, you would think
People are hitting that link and buying it.
people are definitely clicking on it
Yeah.
because they need bigger dicks, I guess. But also Joe Rogan's sponsoring it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I what's the legality there? Because Joe Rogan is like literally they took an AI model of his podcast and of him doing an interview with somebody, and it's his voice, and it looks like he's talking, but they're just doing an advertisement for this new product, and he's saying how awesome it is, and he didn't think it would work, but it did work. And I was like, this is fucking AI. This is wild.
Dylan did that with one of our reels a long time ago. He had one of those like voice AI things, and he did a reel like about that Netflix show You, and he just talked regular into a microphone, I think for 60 seconds, and then he typed what he wanted it to say, and it all came out in that character Joe's voice.
Oh,
Similar to the
yeah, that's pretty cool.
You could tell it wasn't, but it wasn't Dylan's voice. That's
Yeah,
for
they're
sure.
getting pretty good. The deep fake stuff and the AI stuff is getting pretty good. It's kind of scary, and that's
Don't
what.
buy the penis enlargents.
Yeah, give it up. I mean,
Seriously, stick with the blue chews.
I mean, we're just getting AI. You think if there was a way to make it that much bigger, we would know about it by now.
I think it would be all over the news.
The only thing that works, Donnie told me this, is jelking.
Jelking. What?
That wasn't you. You weren't the one. Do you know what jelking is? You don't know what it is? You never heard
I
of
don't
that?
know what it is.
Never heard of that? No, you know who I heard it from? Tony Hughes did like a 4-part video series about jelking.
What is it?
It's a method, a very aggressive physical method
We talked about it on the podcast.
of making your. No, that's semen retention.
Oh, that's right.
That was That was what was
that
that?
none of it we never talked about again.
The yoga. That was the one
You
about
weren't
the.
even part of the episode then.
No, the Coomer one. No, that was when we were sitting in my
We were
like
sitting in
bedroom.
his office.
We were sitting in my office. We were talking about
About
semen retention.
Semen retention. And he gave us homework.
No, jelking, according I think it was Tony who just did it, is a very aggressive physical technique of that you have to do 2 or 3 times a day. The only thing I could like say is, you ever see the Indian like gurus who like tie large rocks?
Yeah.
It's something similar, something like that to their testicles in order.
We have a friend that tried this.
Jelking?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what he's talking about?
No, but I kind of feel like I know who. I this is the first I'm hearing about
We
it.
have a
but-
friend. I'm
No,
not gonna. I'm gonna.
Do
leave
I
it-
know this person?
Yes, you sure do.
Did they get results?
It didn't work, but he put the time and effort into it. I'll tell you that much.
It is.
Oh, I know who it is. I know who it is.
It is an aggressive thing.
It's. I don't know if he did exactly what the.
It's intrusive.
but,
Why would
like,
you do it halfway?
I
You might
don't-
as well do the whole thing.
He's a wild dude.
He's got a big house, right?
He's got a big house.
Okay.
He's got a,
He's
very
got a
big-
big house.
And
got
that's
a
not
big
code.
house.
I just want to make
That's
sure.
not code either.
I've been to his house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
you
my
have.
God, are you serious?
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. All right.
Well, yeah.
cool.
So jelking is
Moving
exactly
on.
if you were to take the sound like a onomatopoeia, right? Is that the word? Is it
Yeah.
like bam or boom?
Mm-hmm.
Jelk. That's what you got to do to your junk. You got to fucking jelk it,
Jelk it.
and apparently it gets bigger. So, I don't.
Donnie's researching and going home.
Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
I did. I spent it with some of my favorite people in the whole world.
Who?
You, Justin, and Nooch.
And
Nooch gave me a Cuban.
he sure did.
That's Justin's father. He gets a shout out for giving me a Cuban.
He's the best.
There's a picture of us in our. I didn't get the memo. It was apparently it was sweatpants and sweatshirt. I dressed up. I had a brown leather Indiana Jones jacket on with a
Sick turtleneck.
with a turtleneck.
Nothing made me happier than when Scott insulted me in the parking lot for the way I was dressed. And
Yeah, I
then
was
we
like,
go
wait,
in,
I'm like-
and your father answers the door in a
in a
Paramount
Paramount
hoodie.
hoodie. And I'm wearing an underground.
I got my hair done. I got
looked
a turtle.
great.
I got a turtleneck
You look great.
on.
You looked great. You really did.
Well, we went over your family's house. They invited us over for Thanksgiving. There was a really long pause between appetizers and dinner, about 3 or 4 hours.
That's a lot, but much.
People were fucking blood sugar was dropping. John was sweating.
But yeah, John was.
He didn't wanna
Did I
say
miss
anything.
anything? He kept asking, "Yo, did they put anything out? Did I miss it? Did I miss it?" I'm like, "You fat piece of shit."
I remember
Relax.
everybody yelling at us to take it easy on the apps because dinner was coming out.
Yeah.
And then the apps were gone, and I took it super easy on the apps.
And I'm hungry.
And now we're hungry.
I went up to get a piece of cornbread, and your sister was like, "Take it easy. It's
I
a,
don't know
it's,
who-
it's a, it's
It's a
a."
rookie mistake.
What'd she say? She goes, "It's a marathon, not a sprint."
Not a sprint. I don't know who we got to talk to about next year having that timed a little better.
A little quicker. Yeah, the Italians like to sit on it.
They did it.
Because usually there is a break from the antipasto and the appetizers, followed by pasta,
Yeah.
followed by the bird.
Now, when I thought in my head when you guys said Christmas at the Caruso's,
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving at the Caruso's, I thought raviolis,
Yeah.
and it
Well,
wasn't.
there was a lot of them.
There was a lot of raviolis.
I didn't see a single actual edible ravioli.
My cousin's last names are raviolis.
Yeah, I thought for sure we'd have some lasagna.
Yeah, I hear you.
But we did the trad turkey,
Yep.
and it was
Dry ass turkey. I hate turkey.
I love it.
Overrated.
I like turkey.
I think it's an overrated.
I like it
The
once
fact that
once
that's
a
the
year.
center.
Ground turkey makes me violently angry.
Oh, I love ground turkey.
You're
instead-
fucking bonkers, bro.
Yeah.
I could eat that shit
You gotta-
for
yeah.
every meal.
If it's not mixed with rice and slathered in some kind of mutant sauce,
you gotta spice it up, but I don't know.
spice it up. It's
The
like
fact
gum.
that the
It's
fact
got
that turkey is the centerpiece of that holiday makes me so upset.
well, that's traditional, and we should probably
I'm there
get
for the
into that.
stuffing.
yeah.
I just
They had 3 kinds of stuffing.
to
Yeah.
bring it back. I was telling Donnie this just to bring it back to the original, tie it in together. I think the true message of Thanksgiving is be careful who you break bread with. You know, I think that's the true message. Is that be careful who you trust because
Right.
you could be sitting down at dinner, making business plans,
Right.
giving somebody a key to the castle,
And
and
they
next
could
thing
fuck
you know, For a couple seashells, you just lost your whole fucking continent. You know?
What's up, pilgrims?
Trying to sit down and help a couple people out. You're trying to break bread, share the wealth. And next thing you know, you're living in a fucking reservation with smallpox.
That's right. And
That's crazy.
Only thing you guys got are casinos.
You know, if they had a time machine, I think they might have handled that a little different.
They would have ran it back.
Yeah, I think they would have ran that shit back. I think they might have had Thanksgiving by themselves.
Their stuffing definitely wasn't as good as the stuffing at Justin's house.
There was 5 different kinds of stuffing.
Mm-hmm. We had a lot of stuffing.
I had every kind.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuffing. We ate good. You know,
we had fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
We took a small break.
Yeah, you guys took a small break.
We popped over to my nanny's for a little bit.
Right, and then you came back for dessert. And then we were like celebrities.
Smoking cigars. We took some pictures.
Yeah, Mom had to get a picture of us.
I was going a little hard on the politics. I forgot that your family's a little left-leaning. Some of them. I thought I was hitting some jokes.
They were funny.
I thought I was hitting some jokes.
What were you saying? I don't even remember.
I was telling about the time that I went to New Hope,
the
town, and there was a gay... Did I tell you this story?
Yeah, I don't know if it's podcast approved.
Yeah, it is.
It is? Okay.
So I was going on like a little date kind of thing.
Okay.
To New Hope, as you do, as I think is like I run out of ideas. I don't
Let's go
know
to New
what
Hope.
else. Let's go to New Hope. Let's go spend extra money at New Hope. And we get there, and it's a gay pride parade. It's a gay pride festival, which is, I mean, I don't care, but I mean, it's wild. Shirts off,
Spandex.
rainbows everywhere, you know. And people think I'm gay because I'm there, but I'm not.
You were dressed kind of metrosexual on Thanksgiving. So.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, So I was dressed up. I was dressed nice. I dressed nice.
I'm sure you
Probably
dressed
had
nice.
some Yeezys on. Some
Yeah,
kid sweats. Or
you
something.
dressed very nice.
Kid sweats and a turtleneck.
So we're walking around New Hope in the gay pride parade. We're feeling the love. I feel a little out of place, but not really, because they're friendly people. They make you feel welcome.
They do.
And all of a sudden, walking down the street, and clear as day, gunshots. Bop, bop, bop. And I'm like,
It's happening.
holy shit.
It's going down.
For a split second, I'm like, there's a thing going on. So I like freeze. Now it's interesting because in that second, my mind is going, nah, right? No, but I'm still like a little bit frozen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at your house, I should have used a word I shouldn't have used, but I said there were some women running
Yeah.
past me
Yeah.
because they heard the gunshots too. And I could see around me, people are like, oh, this is it. Is this it? Turns out, no, it was a Civil War reenactment happening
right?
at the same time. So they're shooting muskets, and
Blanks.
it scared everybody around me.
They thought the gay pride parade was
And I
getting
saw
shot
it,
down.
and I saw this woman when she had a high and tight fade. She ran past me, and I said, "No," I said, "It's okay. It's civil rights." And she said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, they're not shooting."
Civil rights or Civil War?
Civil War,
It was
not
not
civil rights.
Well, it could have been a civil rights reenactment. Yeah, so I said, "It's okay. Calm down. It's all right. Today's not the day. You're safe today. I'm here."
I got your back.
And so
Yeah.
then I watched the Civil War reenactment. I found out a little more interesting than what was going on
Nice.
on Main Street.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned it in front of my uncle. My uncle was like,
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
listen, he chuckled. You
But
know.
I didn't. And then in hindsight, I was driving, and then I said to myself, I was like, you know how you do sometimes after like an event or something, you kind of replay.
Uh-huh.
And then it dawned on me. I was like, shit. Justin's family's a little left leaning.
They are.
Some of them.
A lot of teachers.
And I like to make funny jokes.
Yeah.
About how women shouldn't fly planes. I was just
He
kidding.
did go on a lot of women tangents.
I was just kidding about that though, because they had the pilots, and it was like diversity. And
What
I'm
would
like,
you-
sick.
You were
That's what I
like,
want.
you were going down the list of things that you would rather have a woman do, and the list was not long.
Well, I was on the spot. I put myself on the spot. I saw this commercial, and it was a woman pilot, and I was like, and I wasn't sure about it. I've never seen it before. You know, something new. I've since wrapped my mind around it. I'm sure women can fly planes just fine,
Well, listen, it's fine. You guys were
as long as I'm invited back.
a big hit. You know,
But just my sense of humor is a little crude sometimes, and I hope everybody knows that.
my mom felt like there was 3 celebrities in her house.
We weren't in there 5 minutes, and she's like, "I need a picture of you guys."
We got a great picture.
and I'm like, "Who?"
We can
and
put the
she's like,
picture
"You
up.
and Justin and Scott. I want to show my friends at work."
Yeah,
Yeah. So they like to listen to our podcast.
they're
Tom.
one of the 116.
They're not
viewers.
members though. It's kind of strange. I don't know.
Yeah,
They're
mom,
not that
get them
big
to
a
be
fan.
members, mom. Come on, it's $5 a month.
But that was a great meal.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed
So
yourself.
just to bring it back, what what would you be? What would you feel good about with a woman doing over a man? Justin, we were. I'm just saying.
I would prefer a woman to be the nurturer of the
house. No, I mean of a profession.
Of a profession.
Would you prefer? This isn't going to make it.
I think.
Wow, you're taking a long
women
time.
nurses are.
Women nurses. Jeez.
Yeah.
How about a woman doctor? Donnie, what would you prefer your woman? Like, you walk into a hospital. Never mind. We'll just cut that part out.
You want to touch on Black Friday? We had a great day. Crowded gym all day long. A lot of day passes.
A lot of day passes.
A lot of punch cards. We sold some supplements. So that's some money for you.
Yep. People were pumped to be in the gym for $5.
I put a lot of effort into the marketing and advertising this year. Usually we just post on a story Black Friday.
I saw over and over again. I was getting punched in the face with
Well,
it.
you got
I'll tell you what.
Donnie on board.
Donnie's been making some kick-ass content.
He has.
You know how much do I owe you, Donnie? I got cash in my pocket, bud.
Hey.
I don't have that much, but I got a lot of it.
I got some money.
I had some money. I heard there was a line outside your door. And you
Oh
thought it
yeah,
was
I'll
for
tell you. That's
GameStop.
cool. I get out of my car on Black Friday, and I get there a little like 15 minutes before we open, and there's a line starting at GameStop.
How many people?
Like 12,
Okay.
maybe
That's pretty
That's
sick.
a line. I was going to say 4 people is not a line, but
10 or 12.
12, that's a line.
And so I'm walking in, and I'm thinking like, what's GameStop doing? I wonder if
You're
there's
about to go get in line?
I wonder if there's anything I need.
Right.
And so I go into the store. They didn't even say anything to me. I go into the store. I get open up. I put my stuff down. Nick is already inside. Nick was there a little early too, like just getting some things set up. And it's like 10 minutes before we open, and this little old lady walks in, who wanted DHEA. Who I got it for her because we were sold out the 25 milligrams. And she came in to get him, and she was at the register. And then like one of the kids, he's like, "Are you guys open?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they all pour in. I was like, "I thought you guys were for GameStop."
That's
I never
insane.
had a line of people waiting at my store. I
awesome.
felt pretty good.
Good for you, man.
We did really well also.
We're all going to be rich.
We're all going to be millionaires. Remember, we were telling you today what's the answer
Yeah.
to all of our problems.
That's
Justin.
right. Yeah, me and
$1 million
Scott.
each. Me, you, and John, and Donnie. They're
That'll-
coming with us.
You could be like Turtle.
All right, so you guys may have seen, some people may have seen, I have posted on YouTube and on Instagram the conclusion of a little story called Tommy the Thief. Now, for some of you at home who may be new, don't know us too well, I'll give a synopsis. I had a longtime employee, senior store manager. He was so good. He was so trusted, close friend, confidant, that Alan, my partner, and I were about to make him partners on a location. Essentially,
The Hazlitt location.
50-50 partners with Underground Nutrition. And shortly before that deal was about to be closed, we found out that he was stealing money from the business.
Wow.
Somebody snitched.
Somebody snitched. They gave him up. Well, thank God.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't condone snitching unless it benefits
Me.
me. Yeah.
Shout out to
I was going to say, are we allowed to say this or no?
No, don't do that.
Spleep.
Cut him out.
Well, our editor has now got
Cut him
some
out.
extra work.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Shout out to the snitch. We appreciate you.
Snitches don't get stitches this time.
So the entire conundrum was placed on my lap. I was told privately that they thought the snitch thought that Tommy was stealing, and I couldn't believe it. And we went to the videotape. We sent some cash sales in, and sure enough, right before our very eyes, that day we witnessed a theft.
Mm-hmm.
So gangster kicked in. Me and Alan, and I was like, we should kill him.
You allowed to be saying this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I
It
can say
didn't
that.
happen.
Well, it's in my mind,
Just
in
thoughts.
imagination land. We were like, what are the choices in Minecraft? What are the choices? Should we kill him? Should we beat him up? Should we? And no, my partner was the voice of reason. He said, we're going to call the lawyer. We called our lawyer. Our lawyer said, don't kill him. Number one, that's against legal advice. And I said, okay, what should we do?
Quality representation.
Yeah, he was really he had our best interest at heart.
Quality representation.
Don't do anything. Just present the police with the evidence. So we presented the police with the evidence that we had. The cops were like, yes, this is gonna. They went full 21 Jump Street. They set up a whole sting.
Now, what cops were this? Marlboro?
God bless them.
Most action they probably got in a long time.
They have that motel that they get some. They tell me some fun stories.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
The motel?
some shady
On Route
stuff.
9?
Yeah, there's like a motel, a crackhead motel, and they get a lot of fun
Okay.
coming in and out of there.
My
But
bad.
and it's a township, so I think it encompasses a bunch of. Anyway, long story short, they were awesome. They knew me and Alan, and they set up a sting where essentially all day long they're sending in cash sales.
Yeah.
Cash sales. We're watching it in
Marked
real time.
bills.
The end of day comes.
They did mark bills and everything?
Marked bills.
That's gangster.
Yeah, I mean everything. And I think that day they got him with like $700 cash plus all the. So what was happening was people were coming in, and he had access to the inventory. Somebody would come in and make a purchase for cash. He would drop the cash out or run it in as partial pocket portion of it or all of it, and we would never know.
Because he wouldn't take the item off the
Yeah,
inventory.
because the inventory would drop off. So not only did we lose the cash from that sale, but we also lost the product.
Yeah, double whammy.
So I think like if you add that up that day alone, it was like a $1,400 banger for me. And they pulled him over when he left. Me and Alan were like in the car waiting. We drove past him.
Oh yeah, you
We
guys
got
got
it on
undercover.
We filmed it.
I remember
him,
the video.
him in the back being arrested. We were really upset, man. It was a fucked up thing.
Yeah, it's sad.
And so he was charged, and he admitted to stealing to the police before even
Way more than you had him caught for.
way more than we had him caught for. But we were, if he was to say otherwise, we could just go back into, because Alan is. People don't know this about Alan. Alan's watching the cameras.
You told me that.
I think
Alan
everybody
was,
knows that about Alan.
Yeah,
You told me
he
Alan
is,
was
and
in
if
the dark.
If he wasn't before,
Now he is.
he is now.
He was in the dark watching things all night. Watching.
Oh, he's going
playbacks.
back. He's going back, and he's gonna. If something's going on, he's gonna find out about it. Especially now. Long story short, he admitted to the police of stealing in excess of $30,000 over a period of I guess a year. And that's it. We cut ties with him. We were able to dissolve him from the LLC that was formed. I made a video about the incident before even it got the legal stuff started getting rolling, and then we didn't hear anything, and it was stuck in
Purgatory.
legal bureaucracy. And just recently, it's come to an end. So
Like a year exactly almost, right?
just about, yeah,
Nice.
I guess.
That was like
Maybe
our,
even more.
what was that, like our 5th podcast, I think?
Yeah. So,
What was the end result?
well, he's never been in trouble before. There is still a mystery to this whole thing as to why. I have my theories.
Why he did it?
Yeah, I thought drugs. I mean, that seemed to make the most sense would
Yeah.
be drugs. But as it turns out, no, it doesn't seem to be the case at all. It doesn't seem like he has a drug addiction of any kind. The working theory now is simp.
Yeah,
And,
like OnlyFans. Like a OnlyFans.
Like a pay pig.
like
Or
a pay pig, living outside of his means, spending his money on a girlfriend, like lavish gifts, and
Was he decked out in cool stuff? And
he
nice
was a low. He
shoes
was a
wore
low.
nice clothes.
He was a low key hype beast.
Yeah.
But that's the working theory. I don't actually know where all the money went, because there was a period of time where he was homeless. Like, he was in between houses. I let him live with me.
I remember that.
He still owes me rent, and he never paid me.
Better run that 600.
Yeah. And so the prosecutor's office reached out to me and my partner a few months ago, and they said, we're thinking about giving him PTI. And our initial reaction was, PTI, for people who don't know, is pretrial intervention. If you've never been arrested before, you don't have a record, then it is a way for you to plead guilty, go through a probationary period, and then have the charge expunged from your jacket. It's like your get out of jail free card. And
It's a nice get out of jail free card for $30K.
I wasted mine when I was 19 years old on
Not on
growing weed.
$30K, right?
Growing some swag outside. Some kids got caught with coke and told the cops
He was growing weed?
outside.
That sucks.
I wasted my PTI on that. I was young. And so me and Alan talked about it. and our biggest thing was restitution. So we decided to not fight them on PTI and not.
As long as you got your money back. That's
As long as I got our money
for
back.
people that don't know what restitution is.
Yeah, we wanted to get our money back. So inevitably, he pled guilty with the pretrial intervention, and if he completes his probationary period and pays us back, it's $1,000 a month for 31 months.
Right. Now, what do you think the probationary period also entails besides
Drug testing?
Okay.
It's going to be whatever probation usually is. You probably have to report a lot, like once a week in the beginning, or then once a month. And for him,
Random
for somebody who
drug tests.
steals, there's going to be a heavy emphasis on paying it back. Like his PTI is going to hinge on restitution. So he's going to be responsible for paying them to pay us. So essentially, we gave him a $30,000 interest-free loan that he wasted on being a simp,
Right.
and has nothing to show for it.
So how do you feel a year later about the whole situation?
Now, hold on. When you said you were a little hesitant about the PTI, I've never been in a situation like that. Like, prosecutor's office calls you and they say, we want to do this. And you're like, I don't know. Are they like now mad at you?
No, they were genuinely interested in what
They don't have to consult you, right? Or do they?
They don't have to, I guess, but in cases where
Did they
they're-
press the charges? Did the state or did you?
the state, it wasn't civil.
Okay.
No, we didn't press charges. The state pressed charges.
They picked them up, yeah.
based on the evidence. Wherever there's a victim, the state is supposed to care about what the victim feels about sentencing.
Okay.
It's supposed to. I mean, as far as I know.
They didn't invite you to go speak at sentencing.
Well, there wasn't a sentencing. Had there been trial, we would have been there for sentencing.
He took a plea.
He took a plea, so we have no like victim statement or anything like that. So since he took a plea deal and we basically okayed it, they went forward with it, So how do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I am happy that I'm going to be recouping those losses. Betrayal is a fucking ugly thing. I don't trust a lot of people, and I trusted him. And now in hindsight, I feel like the trust was never really earned. I was trusting him based on the fact that he was doing a really good job at running my business with me, and that was what I realize now. That was kind of a cover in order for him to be able to operate with impunity.
Yeah.
Which is kind of smart because technically those type of people that are willing to do that to somebody else are not going to put that effort. So this was definitely a premeditated,
Yeah, there's certainly
well thought out.
a grift, a grifter or a con artist. There was like little times when like the facade came down, and I would think to myself that something isn't really right with him. I could never really put my finger on it. I definitely didn't think it was like stealing. But I find a lot in business, being a small business owner, I have through the years have noticed that there's a certain type of person that works for you that becomes resentful, and they think that they can do your job better because you're the owner. It's assumed that you're making all the money. It's assumed that, and then they're doing the job that you're paying you for, and they see that you don't have to do as much. Well, because I'm the owner.
Yeah.
And they don't see the work that you put in the beginning, the money, the chance. And I think that there builds a little bit of resentment, and these people start to think that they deserve
More.
what the owner has.
Yeah.
And
Assuming it's a lot.
assuming right. And I've had to have this conversation. There has been periods of time where employees are taking home more of a paycheck than I am.
Oh, of course.
And I don't think people understand that, or they don't believe it.
Somebody, I mean, I remember having a conversation, and I'll just say his name, with Rich Maloof.
Yeah.
And
Who owns a huge
Multiple
car dealerships,
And
multi-millions
me
of
and-
dollars going in and out of that business.
me and and I was talking to him about me and Justin, and he made the comment or you know, kind of reassured me in the sense where he said, you know, you better be taking better care of the people that are responsible for your business than you're taking care of yourself.
Essential.
Because essentially they're doing more work.
Yeah.
On the day to day, on the
Yeah.
you know, like the pen to paper work, like
Yeah, you have to walk this very strange line, like in owning your own business. You have to, first of all, be profitable for yourself, or else what's the point? And second of all, you have to like look exactly that. You have to look out for the people. You have to build a team of people that are trying to do a thing together. And sometimes I find that it doesn't matter what you do. There's going to be a person here or there that's going to be resentful, regardless, because they have to work.
but you want them to care at least almost as much as you do.
Yeah, and that's very hard. I think
about the success of the business.
for anybody who's opening a business and asks me what I think about it, or or some of the pros and cons, the most difficult thing in my personal experience with Underground Nutrition is staffing, is finding somebody to represent you and the thing that you built when you're not there, to care as much as you do, because you can't pay somebody to care. I could pay somebody to ring you up.
Yeah.
I could pay a cashier all day, but I can't. You can't pay for somebody to buy into the brand and care and work with ethics and morals and understand that this is like a sharing situation. Like the more money I make, the more money
you'll
you
ultimately make or have the opportunity to make. I always found, I mean, you've said that to me before, and I don't know if I was surprised by it. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I don't know about behind the scenes, but I always thought, and I think the same goes for me and Justin as well, because we all travel in the same circle. But I think you guys have been super fortunate
in terms of staffing,
in terms of the people that you have representing your business, even the ones that it didn't work out, Tommy excluded. Although, if you had asked me a week prior, I would have said that Tommy was the best thing going.
Me too.
Me too. But I mean, it's you. I think even the guys that you've had that it didn't work out or whatever,
Moved on.
I've never walked into Underground and been like, I don't like this guy.
No, we unfortunately, retail is usually a revolving door, and that's another hard part about my business is that I'm a retail supplement store, and it's hard to find. Number one, it's hard to pay like a grown man a living wage with the way things are today. Like, how do you keep people? You have to incentivize. I can't offer full benefits, but we can offer certain perks. Just trying to keep good people is difficult, but we've been pretty lucky, and we have a pretty good staff now, and the people that stepped up in the vacuum that Tommy left have all been. Jordan's been
I think
awesome.
I was going to say that, and I'm not even to joke around and plug Jordan, but I think that might have been a silver. I don't want to say a blessing in disguise, but perhaps a silver lining.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me like you're mad?
Who, me?
Yeah.
That's just I have resting bitch face.
Because he is. I mean, the relationship that we've built with him, just kind of being the liaison. He's efficient, man. He's a
hard worker. I think
he's a nutcase, but he's efficient,
and he's bought into the brand. I think he wants to stick around.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that's cool. So, but another thing I think that what people didn't see, or what people don't understand, the toughest part about the Tommy thing. And this is a podcast, and I'll make this quick. But so my partner Alan, who built Underground with me, when we were transitioning into bringing Tommy into the fold, decisions were made with Alan's life and a baby on the way, and some of the things that he wants to pursue with Hollow Labs and just how he feels personally about life was that he wanted to move further away and basically not take a step back, but to run things, the stuff that I hate doing, like the paperwork, the behind the scenes of dealing with reps and stuff, the stuff that doesn't require you to be in the store. Tommy was allowing Alan's move further away and to take that role of running things from the back. Left a huge vacuum where Alan was now 2 hours away. The guy who was supposed to step up and essentially work with me on the day-to-days in the store was arrested for stealing from us, and it left a huge vacuum.
Yeah.
And it became extremely difficult. Alan commutes 2 hours to be in Garwood, and I'm essentially running 2 locations with my managers, and it sucked. It was not only was it $30,000, and a guy that was helping us run our business and a future business partner, but it also created this scenario.
The ripple effect.
Yeah, it was really a domino effect. But we figured it all out. We got Hazlitt
Persevered.
open, and that $30,000 within the first 6 weeks we did in sales. So, good, really smart move, Tommy. Brilliant. Sick business decision.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to visit Alan this weekend. Next
Are you?
weekend, yeah.
up at the farm.
I'm going up there. So if
Is
I
he
don't
renting you out like an Airbnb, like in the backyard? You got to pay him.
I don't know. I don't know. But if I don't come home, you can assume that send the helicopter.
You didn't come. You
Take
didn't
me
go
off
with
a
a
trail.
check. You didn't come with a check.
Justin, don't let me leave without a check.
Yeah, I hear you.
A blank one.
So yeah, I mean, to wrap up the Tommy thing, I don't have any hard feelings anymore. If I were to be in the same room as him, I would probably just like talk shit and laugh at him for making the world's worst business decision, because he definitely would have made way more than that.
Already.
I mean, he was a 50-50 partner, and Hazlitt is going to be, when all is said and done, when that parking lot is done
Gonna be a
and all the
monster.
businesses are filled in there, I think that store is going to be as good, if not better, than Marlboro. I really believe that, and it's already doing really well. So, yeah, dummy, stupid.
Shout out retard.
But that's one of the things about right when we opened, it was really hard for me and Alan. We weren't businessmen. We weren't like business savvy. We were just happy to build a thing, and people were like it. And then very quickly, this I call them like parasites. These other people who don't have anything or want something, they gravitate towards people who do have something or have already built something.
They're looking for a host.
They're looking for something that's like, how can I siphon money or recognition off of somebody else's hard work?
Yeah.
And it happened a bunch of times to us where, and now we're a lot smarter, but we went through a whole lawsuit with a media company. We got totally fucking scammed by this scumbag, Adam. And I could talk about it now because it's over. We sued the dog shit out of him. We won $32,000 that we'll never see because he's a worthless piece of shit.
That is the best to date. That is Justin's best Paramount business decision.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you set that meeting up and we sat down, and I was just, I don't know. I don't know anything now. I knew less then. And we had that meeting with him, and we're just saying, Justin's just like, no, I'm not feeling it. We're not going to do it.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have that, because when I met this guy, he was introduced to me, and if you were to go on social media, and I went to his house, and it turned out everything was smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
The house was they were essentially
They were squatting
in it. It was a TikTok house, so all these
Cold Snack.
influencers were there. They had fake money. They had a really nice car in the which I guess was probably going to be repoed at any time, and it was all I guess
Scam.
a giant scam was the only way I could describe it.
But I don't think they knew it was a scam.
I think with them, I think there was some drugs involved there. But I mean, long story short,
Didn't the DJ live in that house?
DJ Diddy. I mean, I can't believe to this day I ever even met somebody named DJ Diddy, and it wasn't like at the end of a baseball bat. Like I can't believe
It wasn't P. Diddy.
It was not P. Diddy.
That would have worked out probably better.
He wasn't even the bad one. It turned out to be this guy Adam, who I mean, we got back. We got back.
Yeah.
There was get back.
He was a website developer. He was a SEO guy.
He made bags. But everybody and their mother is suing him. Burger 25, the guy who owns the house in Colts Neck, this other random dude. He ripped somebody off, this woman off for like her life savings in Bitcoin. He has like 5 open lawsuits. We were the first one to get ours in and won. And if anybody's ever wondering, if you never sued anybody, don't. Don't. It's essentially you pay your lawyer to win, and if they don't have the money, there's nothing you can do. If he ever has the money, maybe we'll get a lien on his property, but he doesn't have any fucking property, so it doesn't even matter. But at the end of the day, I have a piece of paper that says I won, And
which is all that matters.
That's it.
yeah, because again, it's like, man, I come from a different place, and you have to grow up. You have to stop being like that. If you don't want to end up back in prison, if you're not a gangster, everybody says, "Oh, I would have done this." No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have done anything. I'm glad we handled it the way we did, and we won. We
Dodging bullets left and right. You guys are, man. I love it.
dodging fucking.
Little learning experiences, little blessings.
Him, on the other hand, unlike Tommy, if I was in the same room as him, I think it would be different.
We would beat him up.
With my words.
Yeah.
I would beat him up with my words.
Yeah,
verbally.
Yeah.
Unless we were put in a self-defense situation.
If he put me in a self-defense situation, I would.
Yeah, he sucks.
Defend yourself.
I would defend myself hard. I would
Defend yourself
defend
so
myself
good.
right up
So good.
to the law's limit of defense. You know, but that's it. That's the whole thing. So be careful of parasites. Be careful who you hire. And for anybody who's trying to open a business and you're like, I'm not going to be corporate. I'm not going to sell out. Yeah, that's great. But there's a reason why GNC has loss prevention. There's a reason why there are certain things that big corporations put into play, whether you like it or not. It's because these things happen. It's folded into their insurance. So they account for things getting stolen, employees stealing. So you can go in like naive all you want. But in the end, there's a reason why these things are there. It's because people fucking steal.
Yep.
And people take advantage.
Yes,
and there's
they do.
parasites out there. So
They come in many sizes and magnitudes because, I don't know, I think I've been hyper aware as a result of you and the warnings you've heeded us, but every day, every day,
everybody with
looking,
an Instagram and a
everybody's looking for something. Everybody, and then when you ask like when you get my favorite is when you and whatever. I'll just go.
Come
these
on,
people
spew
come.
it.
No, they come to you
Go
and
ahead,
they're like,
get it off your
you
chest,
turn
John.
to them and God forbid you ask what you're getting out of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid. And then the response is, because they're just so shocked, oh, I'm going to promote you.
On what?
I'm going to tag you in the pictures.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Thank you. That's so nice of you.
I have 6,000 followers. I'm going to put you on my story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to tag you. People are going to see they're going to see me here. And the people, as a result, people are going to be kicking the doors down.
Yeah.
You think?
Still
you
waiting
think?
for that day.
Yeah, the return on your investment is pretty thin on that kind of stuff. And the people that tend to ask, what I've noticed is the people that have, like the people that are genuinely, like have their shit together and have a lot of followers and actually do have clout are always the first ones that want to pay full price or not ask for a handout.
Yeah.
It's the fucking scuzzy, hood boogers that want, like, oh, I got 10,000 followers on Instagram. Let me get a free energy drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tag you. No,
Tag this, bro. Keep it moving.
I don't want your clown ass on my story anyway.
Yeah. Can you repost? Can you put, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like
It's
people who
it's
ask for
aggravating, and I
handouts.
think it's aggravating because you prepared me for it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how many times, on multiple occasions we've had, and like I said, and not to sound ridiculous, I am grateful for you in that sense that I would have allowed more than one of these people to just steamroll us over because I would have bought into it. I would have bought into whatever they were selling me. But like, oh, well, you want to pay this guy to come to your gym? No.
For what?
No.
Yeah. I don't care how big,
And we're not talking C-bum either.
Yeah. No, I mean, there are some names that you obviously drop money on, but never some fucking
Random
influencer.
Yeah.
I listen, I'm generous. I give discounts. I'm more willing to give a discount to like, Joe Blow, who was the first time in my store.
Yeah.
People who ask for discounts and stuff, I always get like a little like whatever.
It's cringy.
But yeah, so that's my
Do people ever call you up and ask for anything for free?
it doesn't
Just
have,
randomly. Do you have any free this?
No, I have people call the store ask for steroids all the time. They said, this is a weird question, but do you guys sell testosterone?
You have a bad reputation, I think.
I'm like, bro, are you being dead serious? This is hello, FBI. No, I don't sell steroids. No, we don't have testosterone. We're sold out. I'm like, what
I was in the store with Jordan once, and somebody came in, and bought a couple things, a couple like small ticket items, and then literally like on request, it wasn't offered. He cleared Jordan out of every single solitary fucking sample that you guys had.
I got a couple of people, and I never say anything, but I have a couple of people who just come in for the samples, and it's so awkward that it would be weird for me. I just give it to him. I don't even care.
You don't want
It's
to deal
like,
with it.
You know what I mean? I could tell like you're in a bad place.
You don't even
You
want
know,
to deal.
I'm
with
not
it.
even sure they
Here,
work out.
just
I
Get
think
out of
they're
my
just trying
store.
to get fucked up on the pre-workout. I don't even know, but there's a couple people that just come in for the samples. I don't care.
There was a couple times, and I stress a couple, years ago when I would train at fitness shop, and like I would forget my pre-workout, or I would run out, I'd go next door
Yeah.
to like JSS. And
Yeah,
be
me
like,
too.
You guys
I would do the
have
same
any-"
thing.
And now in hindsight, I wish they would have beat me up. Get out.
They're like, here, dude, here,
Yeah.
take it. Yeah, I used to do the same thing.
And they were so nice, just like I'm sure you are.
I
and
am.
we
I
are.
really don't care about samples and stuff. I the only thing I ever care about is when people ask for like a better discount. Like you'll look me in the face and be like, "Can you do any better than that?" Like, bro, this isn't like a fucking Afghani market where
Yeah.
we're not haggling. What are you talking about?
It's not an auction.
Yes, that's the best I can do. Are you joking me? If you can't afford this MK677, bro, then
Can I
Take a hike.
can I get it for what you paid for it?
yeah, I don't
I
need to
get-
make any money.
Somebody asked that once.
I'll
Somebody
pay-
asked Jordan if he could piggyback on one of your guys' wholesale orders.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, it was one of our members.
yeah.
And they asked
Can I kick in?
Jordan if he could let me know next time you're ordering from
like you're picking up an ounce of
Nutribio-
bud. Like I'm picking up an ounce of weed.
like Nutribio. He's like, I don't know. I'm just saying that. But he asked Jordan with a serious face, let me know. Let me know next time you're putting in your
I'll throw down.
$25,000 order with Nutribio because I got $120 to kick in.
Yeah, I want some protein.
Oh my
at
God.
cost.
I hate everyone.
And this was a grown adult too.
Yeah, bro, it happens,
A
man.
member of ours.
But
Was not anymore.
for the most part, most people have like some sense of self-worth and dignity, and and everybody know when I'm working, I take care of everybody, and I tell my guys to do the same thing. We stress customer service. I want you to come back,
Of course.
So I mean, samples and
And those collaborations, the things that they never work. They
No.
never. And nobody gets famous or rich off of them. Not you or the person.
no,
So you allow it, and it's like, all right, I'm going to collaborate with this bodywork guy, and then every 2 weeks I got a new bodywork guy, and
Yeah.
it's just how it goes. No, Justin's over there laughing. I'm just using it as an example.
It's true.
Like if we didn't have a relationship with Underground, it would be a new supplement company every month.
oh yeah,
Every month,
yeah.
something.
Yeah. It usually, for us, it's a little different because I want to do tables in gyms. And so when gyms come to me and ask me for favors too, if they oblige my tables, I'll do it for them.
Oh,
You
you're
know?
not allowed to do tables in other gyms.
I'll do tables in every gym.
Every gym,
Every single one.
every one, huh?
Every one. Even the one you're thinking of.
I think the only thing
Do
there
a
would-
double table with hollow and underground.
Yeah, you're gonna
You're
gonna go
this
home
is
with
the
a lot
best gym.
You're gonna go home with a lot of free samples that day.
This is the best gym.
We're gonna
in the
come. We're
area.
gonna. Me and Justin are gonna come get all the free samples and sell them.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the story.
Case
Donnie, you
closed.
have any questions about that? You want to ask me anything? Oh, can I answer this, even though it's your gym?
It's your gym. You tell everyone it is.
It's my gym.
You can. I'm gonna let Scott answer, and then I'm
Yes.
gonna give it the truth.
I'll tell you the truth. Yes, because Luke is big enough and he's nice. So when people come, just the other day, I'm sitting behind the desk, and some kid came in, some redhead kid, nice kid, came in and he said hello to me and John, and then he sees Luke and he like beelines over for him, and while Luke's working out, and then he takes his phone out and you could tell he's asking for a picture, and he stops what he's doing and takes a picture with the kid. So now that kid's gonna post that picture, and they're gonna see somebody like Luke who's funny. He's in good shape. He's accessible, and he's always in like their gym, which like you could tell what gym it is because of the equipment. I think it does wonders for them, And I think even I get a little bleed off of it because his association with Abe, who I carry, who's in his gym, and I'm down the street. That's one of those rare situations where I think everybody, Luke, you and me. Everybody works out, and it's like it's the loosest association. Like there's no like
there's no paid nothing.
there's no agreements at all. It's like he gets whatever he gets out of it, and we all get what we get out of it, and everybody's happy, right? Kind of the best case scenario.
You're 100% correct, and I wouldn't even. That's what I would have stressed. Like, there's no type of
Agreement.
There's no type of agreement, and it's just I think it works out because everybody's just happy to be involved.
If Luke moves away, John's going to kill himself.
I'm going to move with him.
He's going to open a Paramount wherever he goes.
But no, it's like,
it's organic.
I think it's organic.
It's organic.
Yeah.
We're happy to have him. He's happy to be there. He came on the podcast. He was happy to do it. He does. He shoots. He does content in our gym. I'm happy to.
I'll tell you the biggest difference. Luke has got it made. I don't know his financial situation, but I guarantee you, Luke doesn't need us. He is financially secure in what he does, and that's what makes him like awesome to work with. Because you get like bodybuilders who have their pro card and they can't fucking rub two sticks together.
Mm-hmm.
They can't afford their growth hormone, and they can't afford their protein. So they come to you and they're like, "Oh, I'll post to," and I'm like, "Okay."
Right, cool.
And then like, "Oh, we'll give you a code," and then like 3 people use it, and one of them's their brother. So like you got your protein for free. At the end of the day, it's like I had to do all this work to break even.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Luke's one of those rare exceptions. Everybody who like Underground's with right now, all the athletes right now, are all people that we like look at their codes. They get something out of it, and I look at their codes every month, and the money justifies what's going out. It took a while to get there. For a while, I couldn't even tell you who our athletes were.
Yeah.
Like, everybody had a code. You got a code.
You got a code.
You got a code. I got a code.
Does Donnie have a code?
Yeah, he's got rugby 15. He's got ACL 15.
But yeah, and I was going to say that before is that when I was talking about the people who are, they come in, they want stuff for free, and in turn they're going to, take your business to the next level. I think about, a guy like Luke who, who has made wonderful contributions to the bit. We're happy to have him there. He's helped us out significantly. And it's, I think me and Justin are very aware of like on paper what like what those how it's benefited us. But then you have these people come in and they're like, "Oh, I got this like this clothing brand, and I'm going to do a photo shoot in your gym. I'm going to tag you in the pictures. You're welcome." And then it's like you got 214 followers.
All right, just
all your clothes are drop shipped. You have no stock.
Yeah.
And it's like so and
Drop ship.
and
Made to order.
It's made to order. And and it's laughable what they think. Like we know what the like. It's I see what somebody like Luke brings to the gym, and it's when you see these people who are just telling you everything that they're going to accomplish for you, which is eons beyond that. It's I don't know. It's laughable. I don't want to be rude,
and Luke, if Paramount's good enough for a guy like Luke's following and his physique, then Paramount's good enough for anybody. That's if I was a kid lifting, that's what I would think in my head. Like if that gym's good enough for a guy like Luke to train at, then
we got another big name supposedly. Not supposedly, it's locked in, coming.
What's the name that I don't know? What do we say?
You don't know the name?
I don't know. Do I know the name? Scott Lasher? It's a household name at this point.
Sure is.
Not the households we're looking for.
The Caruso residence. It sure is.
Caruso
Who's the
residence.
big name?
We're going to talk about that.
You brought it up.
Well, I was teasing it.
You've been teasing it for
I know, you've been
3
teasing-
episodes.
I was going to say
now.
this is the 3rd episode you've mentioned it. I
It
feel
is.
like time is.
Time is to drop it.
Yeah, dog. 'cause
All right,
it's-
we have Brody Shreds coming to the gym the first week in December.
And then he's also coming here, right?
And the rumor on the streets is that he's going to be on the podcast.
What?
Brody Shreds, Donnie. You know who that is? Yeah. No, you don't. He's a big influencer.
He does similar content to Luke.
He's gonna look.
How many
I
followers does he have? Is he big?
We'll talk about that when the podcast. Yeah, he's big.
think he's bigger than Luke.
Whoa.
That's crazy. He's got a big following. I'm not sure which companies he's with. I have an idea, but I don't want to speak on it because I'm not 100% certain. But we'll get all those details on the podcast. I hear he's a super nice guy, just like Luke. A lot of fun.
All right.
So that should be a fun episode.
Another episode of Get Off Our Lawn. We're a bunch
Get
of
off our lawn. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
the
be
old
more
men, old men interviewing young
late
children.
30s, early 40s, interviewing children in the gym.
Right.
So, you ever try Trend?
Right.